it's been a challenge. We knew coming into the season we were a little bit behind in terms of other teams having a year to bed down their plans. We had made a lot of changes halfway through the first year of this cycle, and then we made more changes going into this year. It would have been great to have started well, but we started poorly. And then I was really proud of the recovery to get back and win, I think, 6 out of 8 and get back into the mix was really satisfying. There's some good performances from players. There's young players that have emerged. There was a style of cricket that we were developing that was working. But yeah, we had injuries to key players, which sort of stopped a bit of momentum and made us a little bit unsettled in terms of having to keep changing the team. But look, our performances under pressure in the last couple of games just haven't been quite up to it. We've been in the fight, which has been good. And if we'd been a little bit more accurate, a little bit more positive, then things could have been different. So, yeah, we're competitive with a lot of room to move, which is exciting moving forward, but very disappointed that we haven't been able to take the opportunity to get 1 or 2 of the last games, which would have put us right in the mix. Well, it's always a choice for the management. I know there's been a lot of talk about it, but MS has been around a lot this year, which has been really important for the team, for a lot of young players and continuity. So he's been a big part. He hasn't played, but he's still had a big influence on the team. There's a lot of good things we've done. We've introduced some new players that will be hopefully generation players for CSK, but I know we judged on results. That's fair. So, yep, that's a management call, not mine. I'll start with the power plays. The key one is wickets, really. I think Rutu can do more. He's done more in the past. He's been a fine player at the top. He hasn't produced the quantity of runs and at the pace of runs that he's done in his career, and that's something that he will address. But in conjunction with Urval Patel, who's come in, who's pretty free-spirited, so there is a combination aspect to it. But that is something, look, we'll pour over. I thought today got difficult in terms of the pace of the pitch. So getting through to a score of 180 was, I thought, more than competitive. The spin bowling aspect, I don't know. I haven't spent a lot of time evaluating that one. It wasn't a lot of turn. It was slow today. There wasn't a huge amount of turn, but the use of Akil Hussain and we've got Veer there as well and Noor. They were things that we will go over and we do review them when we're looking at it today. Probably if you look at their attack, it was their seam bowlers that bowling cutters into the wicket hard that did the damage. So our attack was a little bit different to that. Yeah, in some ways it's probably the way they've played at home. They've had to use cutters in their wicket, which is very good. So they went to that pretty well with Pat Cummins leading the way. Our bowlers are more seam bowlers. This was the first time we've had a pitch that's slow and holding. And yeah, we didn't get the same assistance, I felt, as what they did. Whether there was a little bit of moisture from a little bit of dew, I'm not sure, but it certainly wasn't as inconsistent as what we felt in the first innings. We felt 181 on that wicket, getting slower maybe was going to be a good score. They had a good partnership with Klaasen and Ishan Kishan, which maybe blunted us a little bit, but yeah, I felt we weren't able to get the same amount of inconsistency as what they did. No, we're still working through this one. There's been a lot of change, so this year at least he was here the whole time. Last year he wasn't here at all, so that would be unfair to judge that. But yeah, there's been a lot of work done behind the scenes as we learn about this group of players. I've seen the way through. We've made some mistakes. Always put our hand up for that, but we've also done some good things. There's been some players who have come through. The second half, we've won a number of games and we've been in the fight with this. We just haven't been accurate enough, and Ruta will be going through that as part of his development. It's a big transition from having one of the best captains the cricket's seen running the franchise for such a long time to a new captain. So it's going to take a little bit of time. And he's doing a good job. He has a massive amount of respect with this group of players, and he's learning all the time and putting that into play. So going forward, I have no doubt he'll be a fine captain for this franchise. Yeah, he was considered very hard arriving. It's his first real time in India, so to throw him into a must-win game is tough. He said one training, so he had a long travel. He's a good young player. He played well for us in JSK, which was our first experience with him. He's done some work with South Africa and played in Pakistan League as well. So he's on a nice learning curve as well. It's the first time really in this type of environment, and it would have been a tough ask to throw him